So, hello guys, my name is Max and welcome to this video today. We're going to finish develop our Asteroid game. So this is the second time I tried to record this video. The first time was way too long, so this is my second attempt here. Anyway, let's continue with the tutorial. So where we left off last time, we just got the basic game mechanics done. We can move around with the ship, shooting, and when we hit an asteroid, it's split in half and stuff like that. So, let's just continue from here. Before we get started though, I just want to address quite a stupid thing I did in the previous tutorial. And that is in this function here that decides how many asteroids we are generating. So I think we had a function something like this. We had round, of course, and then we had this stuff to the power of 2 plus 3. But I completely forgot the times 2 here. The power of 2 on this, did this part of the function, and I just stood there like an idiot and said that it works and stuff, but of course it didn't do that. But I have rethink this function a bit, and I think we should use an arctangents function instead. So if you don't know how an arctangents function looks like, it looks something like this. So it starts at 0 and then gradually increase to the limit, and then it goes towards the limit of pi over 2. But of course, if you just take, let's say 10 times this function, then of course you will have a bigger curvature like that. And to ease it up a bit, you can just divide this argument here by, let's say, 25. And we should have this almost linear growth up to the threshold value, somewhere here on level 19, stuff like that, between 10 and 15 asteroids. And you can of course tweak this function a bit to your liking. Yeah, and then of course, so we don't have 0 asteroids at the start, here we just add 3 to it, so we have 3 asteroids in the first level. Anyway, that was all I wanted to show you guys. And then we of course round it also. Anyway, so let's implement this function instead. So we can just keep the math.run part here, and then we just say 10 times math.atan, that's arctangents in the math library. And we take this.level, since that's our argument here, divide that by a constant, let's say 25 here again, and then we just add 3 to the end. And hopefully now, when we reload the page, and we have 0 at the level, let's see here, we should have 3 asteroids. Yeah, and that seems to be working. And if you saw the function earlier, if we have 10, if we're on level 10, we should have 7 asteroids. Hopefully that works. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we have 7 asteroids. So that's working. Anyway, let's continue with adding new features here. So, I was thinking to first implement the part where we get hit by an asteroid, or we check if the ship is hit by an asteroid. So to do that, that's quite simple. We just add an additional method to the ship class. Sorry, to the ship object. So we can just say something like this. So we say if this.ship.collide with the asteroid we're iterating over here. So this is inside of the loop where we just iterate through the asteroids array. So then we just check if the ship collides with this particular array. And if it does, for now, let's just log out our test message to the console. So just open up the ship class, add this new method, I think we call it collide, and as argument there, it of course take an asteroid. And a naive attempt, I like to use the stupid things here, it's just of course just a loop through all the points in the polygon, and check if in the polygon of the ship, and check if that is inside of the asteroid using the hasPoint method on the asteroid object here. So that's simple, but so we just say so we say for var I equals 0, len equals this.points. Remember we have the points from the superclass here, and then we just subtract 2 from that, since the first 2 points is the same as the two last points here. So we don't need to check against the same point twice. So that's why we just subtract 2 from len here. Then we say I is less than len, and of course I plus equals 2 this time. since we want to have the x and y values separately here. So we say var x equals this dot points at I plus this of x, the translated coordinate there, and then the y is pretty similar here, so that's just I plus 1 plus this of y, like that, and then we'll say if Aster.hasPoint with the x and y value, like that, then we want to return true, hence the the Aster has to collide with the ship, else we just want to return false here. Otherwise. So for now, if we just reload the page, and if we got hit by an asteroid, we should see the test measure written up in the console. Yeah, that seems to be the case. So that means that that works at least. Good. So I'm just take it back to the 0th level for our testing here. Yeah, anyway. But the test message is probably not anything we want to log out here. So let's do some other stuff instead. So let's do it like this. We can say this.ship we can set the positions of the ship. So say this.ship.x equals this.canvas width divided by 2. So we set the coordinates back at the start position. And of course the height for the y value. Then we just zero out the velocities, we set the x and y velocity to zeros, like that. So for now, when we got hit by a ship, see that we got teleported back to the center of the canvas. And I've got the ship here, hence that's why the ship didn't stop. So let's test again. Yeah, now it stops there. Well, it isn't good, so let's say asteroid panning and hitting the ship in the middle of the canvas. Then it should respawn directly inside of the asteroid again, and when we later on implement the extra life system, then it will lose all of its lives instantaneous. So to do that, we just set a variable here. We can set it on the ship actually. So we say this.ship.visible, or set the visibility of the ship. We'll set that false. So let's just take that field here and set it inside of here. We can say visible, set that to true at the start and create it. And speaking of this draw flames variable here, let's actually move it into here instead. And let's just set it false here. This is just a small change. You don't need to do this if you don't want to, but then we can remove this one here, and that should make this function a bit more clean. Anyway, so we have this visibility variable here now. So here we basically say if ship dot this.ship, of course, the visible. Then we want to do all of this stuff, of course, the thing below here. But if you take an exclamation mark before here, that means if not the ship is visible. Then we want to return, since we don't want to do this stuff. But before we do that though, we just want to check if the spacebar is pressed. So we say if input.is pressed spacebar, then we want to set the visibility of the ship to true here. Visible equals true, like that. So let's see if that works. So for now, when we got hit by a ship, the ship should disappear, or not disappear, but shouldn't be able to move at least for now. And then we just press the space bar. Now we can move the ship again. But let's just make the ship not throw here. So we'll say if this, or we can actually do it inside of the ship class. So we'll say can do it down here. So you'll say if not this not visible, then we want to return like that. And let's see if it works now. So if you get hit by an asteroid, bam, and it disappear, we hit the space bar and spawn back in the middle of the canvas again. Yeah, so that's good. So let's add a life system now to the game, and a score system in the game state, and that's quite simple to do that. So we can just say this dot, let's call it lives for now, let's say you have 3 lives at start, and we have a life polygon. Remember in the original arcade game we have this small, what do you say? Yeah, you have the small ships in the up left corner that show how many lives you have left. And that is of course equal to, should be equal to a new polygon here with the same points as the ship has, like that. Then we just make sure that we scale it, and let's scale it, since we have the ship at 2, scale 2 here, let's scale this to 1.5, so a bit smaller than the ship. And since the ship is facing to the right when we start here, let's just make it like this. So I can, from my point, you can see that the ship is facing towards the right. So we just want to rotate the ship 90 degrees to the left here. And that's in radians, that is just math.pi over 2. Like that. So let's draw all the lives and see if it works. So let's go down to render method. And after we clear the canvas, something like that, so just look through all the lives here. So say bar I equals 0, I is less than this dot lives. I is less, I plus plus like that. And let's draw it as a particular position here. So say draw polygon, this dot live polygon like that. And for an X position, let's put it at position. I had a cheat sheet here. For X position, let's set that 40 plus 15 times I. So we draw close to each other on X-axis, and then the Y position, let's set that to 50. And just try it out. So for now, if you lower page, we see the ships drawn in the upper left-hand corner of the canvas. So now we just want to decrease the number of asteroids each time we got hit. So that's simple enough. We just go down in the in this function here, and we just say this dot lives minus minus like that, and let's just say if this dot lives is smaller or equals to 0, then we just want to set the game over flag here to true. And let's just set that game over flag to false at the start here. So we say this dot game over equals false. Like that. But as you perhaps noticed, so now we can, even if the chip isn't shown up, we can, even though we can get hit. And we don't want that. So just go back into the collide function once more. And then we just say if if the ship isn't visible, then we just want to return false directly like that. So it's can't be hit when it is disappearing. So now when you see here, the lives go down, hit the space bar, the space is back up, and I got hit again and stuff like that. So that's working. So we now have the life system going. And when I hit completely, then the game's over, but we haven't implemented the game over yet. But anyway. So let's continue from here. Let's draw a score to the canvas now. So that's simple enough. Well, perhaps not that simple, but it's not that hard either. So anyway, we'll set a score field here, of course, in the init method of the constructor of the game state. Set that score at the start. 1 second, guys. Be right back. Sorry for that. Where were we? Well, we were implementing the score. So we set the score to 0 at the start, of course, and then we just want to draw that to the canvas. But we won't use the field text method, since that's a bit boring, I think, at least. Anyway, so we will use this. I just went forward and I just created all of the letters in the alphabet and all the numbers 0 to 9. and then we can use these points to draw our graphics to the canvas. And if you want to look at this code or any other code of my project so far, you can go to my GitHub page. Just go to github.com /maxveilboy, and you should get to my my site here. And you can go into this repository here, where I have collected all the code I've written so far. And if you go down into the Asteroid game and the JS folder, there the points file should be, and all other files as well. And if you want to copy this, you just press the raw button. That's probably a simple thing. Just press Command A or Control A and Control C to copy it and paste it into your documents. Anyway, enough of that. Let's draw this text to the canvas. So to do that, we will add a new method to the canvas that we call, the context we created here, the augmented context, that I will call vector text, like that. And as arguments, that just are parameters, it will take text to draw or a number, and it will take a scale factor of how big we want the number to be, and then an x and a y position. So as you see here, we have the letters already in two different fields. We have the numbers and we have the letters, but we want to draw them independently of one another. So that makes this a bit harder to do. But anyway, first of all, we want to make sure that text is actually a text. So we say text to string, like that, and then we can say, just to make sure that all are uppercase, so we say to uppercase as well, like that. So we just format the string correctly. Then we take calculate a step size that we want, and that's just 6 times s, or s times 6, like that. For the way I draw the graphics for this, so if you just go back into the polygon draw function here, or program, and take the letter 0, for example, I just make all letters 4 squares wide and 6 squares tall. And basically, when we draw a new number later on, so let's say we want to draw number 2, we don't want to draw it 2 squares offsetted from that number. So that's why we take 6 times the 6 times the s here, the scale factor, to draw the next letter with that offset. So when we have that done, then it's pretty straightforward. Just loop through all the letters of the text. So we say var I equals 0, len equals text.length, I is less than len, I plus plus, of course, like this, and then we just say var ch char equals to the text at I, and we actually want the char code and not the text, so we say instead of this we can say char code at I, like that, and that take out the correct char code. Then we want to determine if it is a number or a letter. So to do that, we'll just make sure that we first of all add a new constant or new value here to the context. So I call that a code. That's just equals to the short code value of a, of the capital letter A. I think that's 65 or something like that. And then we can say if ch minus this dot a code, like that, and we say if that is bigger or equal to 0, then we want to take just set a variable p here. Then we want to set p to the points dot letters because that means that it's a letter that it's over the letter anyway, and here we'll say ch minus this dot encode, like that, to get the right points we want. And if we just go, let's just look at this blog post here, and you can see that the numbers, they come before they come before all the letters. So basically what we can say then, we want to say p equals points dot numbers. I think I called numbers. And this we want to add the channel plus 10, I think. That should be the right thing, right? Oh, it's offset at even stranger. Anyway, well, then we need to have the 0 code as well. So let's just say context dot z code. Let's say call that 0 code. That's just equal to this stuff. So we should start code at 0 like that, and we say minus this dot z code, and that should give us the correct number we want, like that. And then we can have loop through all the points using this using this syntax here, of course. And then we can of course get rid of that, just to make sure that we tab this in a step, so we have it inside of the for loop. That looks like it this is maybe it doesn't. Let's see if we have all the, what is that? Well, that's that for loop. Okay, that was strange. We're at the end of that for loop. Okay, it's there. Okay, let's see if we can figure out the, so that should be the right way to do this. Anyway, and since we are using I up here, we can't use I here, of course, so we just make sure that you change all of those to length 2 and i's as usual. So let's change this to length 2, j, like that. So, and that should hopefully work somewhat now. But one thing we want to make sure though is when we draw each letter, we just want to increase the X position with the step size, of course, like that. And we will also want to make sure that we multiply all of the points here with the scale factor, like that. So let's see if it works. So for now we will call a vector text, and we can draw the text to the canvas if we want. So let's just write out a test message here, so we can say context dot vector text, like that, and the message we can say hello for now. We haven't blank space yet, but we will have soon. Anyway, so so we have hello that, and then we have our position. So let's say 10 for now, just doing our testing here. And let's see, let's roll page and see if it works. Well, no, it does not. So let's see what. So I will just bug these guys, and I will be back when that's done. 1 second. Bye. And I already figured out there, of course, we haven't included the points file into our HTML file yet. So let's just include it. So we say script source equals js points dot js, of course, like that. But since we have the points object already in the game state, then we just grab all this stuff and put it into the points file as well for now, so we don't have so they don't screw up with one another. and just make sure that you add additional commas and all that stuff so that it actually works. So for now it should work. It doesn't really do that, but yeah. So now I will debug it and I will be back when I'm done. Yeah, and I'm so stupid today. Of course I haven't specified a scale factor. I'm doing so stupid errors today. Anyway, I'm a bit tired. Yeah. Anyway, so hopefully now, yeah, now you can see that the hello message is written out where it should be. And yeah, I think we can just figure out the right position here. So I think we'll add it to, let's say, yeah, 35, and let's try with 15 and see what that looks like. Yeah, here we want to draw the score, and let's just see if it works with our score as well. So let's say 2000. Yeah, you need to write that as well. But anyway, I don't know if you can see it that well in the video, but this text here is it isn't very focused. And that's because when you just have the stroke width of 1 pixel, then it splits that 1 pixel between 2 pixels, and that's why you get this faint line like that. So to get rid of that error, or to get the sharp rendering, then you just add half a pixel to the x and y positions. So say just say x plus equals 0.5 and y plus equals 0.5, like that. And now we can see that they are drawn sharp to the canvas. Anyway, we don't want to draw 2000 here. We want to draw the score. So we say this dot score that we set in the constructor. Then, of course, each time we split an asteroid, sorry, or each time a bullet hit an asteroid, we want to increase the score. So after doing that, we just go up here when we, after we have checked if a bullet has hit an asteroid and all that stuff, we have to pull our switch statement, and we can take it on the size of the asteroid, like that. And we have all the cases here, so we have 3 different cases. So you have when the asteroid is big, so when we don't have split the asteroid, and we have when we have split it once, so asteroid size over 2, and we have it when we have split it twice, so that's asteroid size over 4, like that. And then we just want to increase the score, so say this score plus equals, let's say 20 for the big asteroid. Let's make sure that you take a break there as well. And let's say 50 for the medium size, and 100 points for the small ones. So let's see if it works. So now when we hit an asteroid, we should see that the score updates. Yeah, that's the case. So cool. So that's it for the game. So we now have all of the game play features done. Stuff left to do is just to add a menu state and an end state, and stuff like that. So let's do that. You can start by doing the game state actually. So just make a new file in the JS directory. So you say game state dot not game state, menu state .js, like that. And here you say var menu state command max state dot extend, like that, of course. And inside of here, let's just grab all of the content from the state file and just make sure that we set, there, and well, it isn't that important, but anyway, why not? Anyway, just figure out the spacing of it, like that, so that's good. And don't do the same error as the last time. Just make sure that you include the file in the HTML file as well. So menu state.js, like that. So for now, when we go into the main file, and just make sure that we set menu state in front of here, and let's say that we want the next state at the start to be the menu state. So just like that, we should get a black screen now when we load the canvas, and that means that it works. Let's see. Well, we got some errors. The line 19 of the menu state. Yeah, well, we have double this stuff, so let's get rid of that. Yeah, and now it works. So that's cool. Anyway, so when we're doing the menu state, it's simple enough. We just want to render some text and stuff like that. So let's just do that. Let's say context.vector text, like that, and we can say asteroids, like so. And let's not forget the scale size this time. Let's draw it big, so let's say 6 or something like that. And let's just draw it at 100 for now to see what it looks like. Yeah, so now I have the asteroid drawn to the asteroid text drawn to the canvas. And before we do that though, we just want to clear the canvas. Yeah, and let's draw another message here. We can say press or push maybe. Yeah, push space to play, like so. And let's set that to, let's say 2 for the scale factor. Let's set it on 100, 200, like that. And now we got this error, cannot read property 0 of undefined. That's of course because we haven't, so like when it's a blank space, we don't have the logic to handle that. So let's just implement that. So that's quite simple. Here we can just say if the character code is equals to 32. If you remember, 32 means a space bar, like that. And if you don't want to have it hard-coded like that, you can just say context let's get S code. That's of course equals to this short code at 0, like that. And you can just say this S code. Then we just want to increase the X value with the step size, of course. And then we want to continue with the for loop over all of the characters in the text string. So let's see if that works now. Yeah, so now we can see that we also works with the blank space, like that. But wouldn't it be convenient to be able to center the text as well? So to do that, that's quite simple. We can just check here on top. We can just say if the type of X is not equal to a number. So if X is anything but a number, then we want to center it. So to doing that, we just take the length of the, so we just set X is equals to the width of the canvas. So context, this dot width, like that. And then we take minus text or length times times the step size, of course, like that, and divide that by 2, just to make sure that we get our complete number. Then we just round this matter round as well in front of here. So now when we go back to the game state or the menu state, sorry, we can actually close down the menu state game state for now, and we set, let's say, null for X position, then we should get the text centered. So we can do that with that measure as well, and we now have the text centered, and that is dynamic with the screen size, so that's really good. And we can of course do the same thing with the Y position as well. So just copy this line, like so, change this to Y, of course, like that. But this time we will take the height, but we won't have the, we'll only have minus the step size, like that. Yes, as I said, each letter and number is 6 squares tall, so yeah, that's it. So let's see if that works as well. So we can say, let's say null here, and that will center it in the Y direction as well. So that's cool. But we probably don't want it to be centered like that. We'll probably need to have, yeah, absolute positions. So let's say 180 and 260. Yeah, and that looks like this. So that's good, at least, my opinion. Anyway, but the background is a bit boring here, so let's actually add some asteroids to the background. So for doing that, we can just go back in the game state. That was stupid that I closed that down. Just go down to the generate level function. Just copy this part of the code and let's add it to the constructor. We won't need a function to generate the asteroid. Anyway, and then we just want to add, we'll get a random number of asteroid, maybe between, let's say between 5 and 10 asteroids. So we just say method random times 5 plus 5, like that. That should create 5 asteroids for us. But we don't have this canvas width and canvas height variables. But anyway, yeah, it can be good to have, so let's create them to this.canvas width equals game.canvas context of width, like that, and this.canvas height equals game.canvas context of height, like that. So for now when we reload, we shouldn't get any errors. No, it seems to be working. But we probably want to set the position randomly all time, so let's get rid of that stuff. Just make sure that we say var in front of here, so that should be good. And then we just draw them and update and render the asteroids. So that's simple enough. We'll say for var I equals 0, len equals this.asteroids.length. I is less than len, I plus this.asteroids at I dot update like so. Let's just space it out a bit. Change this to draw, this to context, and yeah, that should be it. So let's reload and see what it looks like. Yeah, so we now have all of the asteroids drawn to the background here. But I think it's a bit boring that they are all in the same size, so let's change the size dynamically here as well. So for doing that, we can just say var s, we can say 1, 2, and 4 for how big it should be, and then we'll say math.round, of course, don't forget the round there, math.random, and times the length of this array, minus 1, so that's 2. That's just the same thing as we have up here, and yeah, all over the place. And then we just divide this by the value of s. So for now, when we load page, we should get all different sizes of asteroids. Yeah, so that's cool. So we now have a bit more fun background. And that's most of the asteroid so most of the menu state done. Everything we need to check is we listen for is here. You just say if input.isPressed spacebar again, of course, like that. Then we just want to change the state of the game. So you say this game dot next state equals to the states dot game state. So let's see if that works. Hopefully now, when I hit the spacebar, yeah, we got into the game state. Stuff like that. So that's cool. So we now only have one state left of the game, the end state. And I will see how long is this video. Well, it's almost 40 minutes, so maybe I'll do that in a time lapse, and I will show you the final result when I'm done. We can just add one thing here though. Show one thing for you guys. So, and that's just to draw out the game over message to the canvas. So here we can say if this.game over, like that. Then we also want to say context vector text game over, like that. And then we set a scale factors, let's say 3 again, or maybe 4. Let's see what that looks like. And then we say null and null, of course, so that the message is centered. So let's just die real quick, see what that looks like. Yeah, let's see. Bam, yeah. So we have the game over message. And basically what we want to do is we want to say up here again. Here we can say if this.game over, this.game.change sorry, next state equals states dot end, like that, and we'll want to return again, of course. Let's just create the end state, and then I will do the rest in the time lapse and tell you what I've done when I'm back. Yeah. Yeah, so guys, I'm back. So hopefully there you could see a time lapse of me developing the end state, and I think that's yeah, that's fine. The video should have been way too long if I shouldn't have done that. I think the record time now, yeah, it's 1 hour and 10 minutes. So yeah, I don't want to make that long videos. Anyway, so the game is now more or less finished. You could of course add some yeah, finishing touches to the game. So you can see here when the asteroids are going down here, they are just yeah, sort of teleporting like that. And then you can first like draw yeah, draw them so that they are smoothly going through the or looping over the canvas like that and stuff like that. Anyway, so the way I could just play a bit here and show you what the end state looks like. So let's get some scores here, get myself killed real quick here. Yeah, so now you can see the game over message is written out. And then if I press the spacebar, I come to the end state here, and you can see that this name field up here is selected. And here I can write whatever I want. Let's, for example, say I write my name, so I write Max. Then I press enter to move on. Now you get to this menu screen here where it shows the high score, and then I say press space to continue, and here you can say this is just some arbitrary players. Son Goku, he has of course over 9,000 scores, and the Doctor, he has 2,000 scores and stuff like that. Anyway, so press space bar to continue, and that will give you back to the menu state. So yeah. So as I said, if you want to look at the complete source code, then just go to my GitHub page, github.com/maxvilleboy, and in the repository here with YouTube tutorials, that's a collection of all the source code for this particular series, and I will of course add the updated files to this repository when I upload this video. Yeah, so are you thinking that maybe we could go towards the end state real quick and the small changes I did? So the first change I did was in the main class here, where I just added the state vars here. So that's global vars that that we can have to take different variables between the states. So score here, of course, will be in the game set here. When we set the next state to the end state, there we just add the current score value to this score field here that are set here. Anyway, and basically, and here from here, that's just where the where the end state come in. So that in the constructor here, it sets some variables here, like set the nickname to no name at start here, and set the score to the state bar here that we decided. And this program doesn't have a real high score system. I could add that, but that could be a complete video in itself by PHP and stuff like that. So I just hard coded in some scores here anyway. Then we grab an input field from the document by an ID of name field that I just added here. That's of course the one you see in the upper left corner there, of course. Anyway, and we focus it and select it. The select method didn't work. I don't know what that was about, but anyway. And in the handle inputs, we check if the user has entered a name. And if it does, then it just listen for the spacebar input, and when the spacebar is pressed, then it just takes us back to the menu state, of course. Else, we listen for the enter key, and that was something I forgot to mention. I just added the enter key here with the key code of 13 to the input handler. Anyway, and here we just take out the nickname from we replace all non-numbers and letters in the nick, so, since we can't draw like dollar signs and stuff like that. Then we push the high score to the high score array like that, and then we sort the high score list by this sort function here. And if you want to know more on how this works, you could search for the internet for that. I think it isn't that complicated. You just take a function here as an optional parameter, and then you can compare two objects. And by doing this, you sort them in descending order. With the largest score at start and small score at end and stuff like that. Anyway, and in updates, we just focus the name field each frame. So we make sure that all the inputs are read from the player. And then we set the value of the name field. We replace all the dollar signs and that stuff again. And then we set the nickname to the value of the name field, stuff like that. And in the render method, it's really real simple. It's just a pain to figure out where all the texts are going to be written. But anyway, it just takes the vector text method we just created and write out the high score and set the scale factor to 3 and stuff like that. Center it in the X position and loop through all the high scores and write them. And this end parameter here is just an additional parameter added to the vector text method. So if you go back to the canvas, you could just see that I added this offset variable here. So that's if we want to draw text from the right to the left. Then we just take the difference here in the length and offset and add x and the step size times this difference here to get the high scores aligned to the right. So let's see if I can demo it for you real quick here. So it's gonna die quick. Yeah, you see here, so that the high scores are drawn from the right to the left, like that, or aligned to the right side of the canvas, like that. So that's really simple. And in the normal state before we had pressed enter and it has entered a name, stuff like that, then we just draw out this thank you message and the nickname and the score, like so. So that's the end state there, guys, and the end of this video series. So I hope you have learned something by looking on these videos. And yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. One final thing you can do though, if you don't want this input field to be seen up there, you can just add a div and place it over it. So let's do that real quick. That's quite simple. So just say div like so, and let's just set some styling of that div. So we set a background color to white, and then by setting the position to absolute, and the top to 0. Or actually we don't need to do that since the default values is top 0 and left 0. But we want to set a width. Let's set 100 pixel. And a height as well. Let's say 50 pixels. And why isn't that? That should be drawn over the well, yeah, maybe we need to set the top positions, the top 0. Let's see, yeah, and let's increase the width a bit, 200 pixels. Yeah, so now you don't see that as input field anymore if you don't want that. Yeah, so that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.